Mitigate incidents using Microsoft 365 Defender. Learn how the Microsoft 365 Defender portal provides a unified view of incidents from the Microsoft 365 Defender family of products. Learning objectives. Upon completion of this module, the learner will be able to manage incidents in Microsoft 365 Defender, investigate incidents in Microsoft 365 Defender, conduct advanced hunting in Microsoft 365 Defender. Introduction. Completed 100 XP. 3 minutes. Microsoft Defender XDR is a unified pre- and post-breach enterprise defense suite that natively coordinates detection, prevention, investigation, and response across endpoints, identities, email, and applications to provide integrated protection against sophisticated attacks. With the integrated Microsoft Defender XDR solution, security professionals can coordinate the threat signals that each of these products receive and determine the full scope and impact of the threat, how the threat entered the environment, what it's affecting, and how it's currently impacting the organization. You're a security operations analyst working at a company that implemented Microsoft Defender XDR solutions, including Defender for Endpoint, Defender for Identity, and Microsoft Defender for Cloud Apps. You need to see related alerts across all the solutions as one incident to see the incident's full impact and do a root cause investigation. The Microsoft Defender portal is a unified view of incidents and actions taken. Next unit. Use the Microsoft Defender portal. Continue. For issues related to this module, use the Microsoft Defender portal. Completed 100 XP. 5 minutes. The Microsoft Defender portal, https://security.microsoft.com/ is a specialized workspace designed to meet the needs of security teams. These solutions are integrated across Microsoft 365 services and provide actionable insights to help reduce risks and safeguard your digital estate. You can investigate the alerts that affect your network, understand what they mean, and collate evidence associated with the incident so that you can devise an effective remediation plan. The home page shows many of the common cards that security teams need. The composition of cards and data is dependent on the user's role. Because the Microsoft Defender portal uses role-based access control, different roles see cards that are more meaningful to their day-to-day jobs. This at-a-glance information helps you keep up with the latest activities in your organization. The Microsoft Defender portal brings together signals from different sources to present a holistic view of your Microsoft 365 environment. The Microsoft Defender portal combines protection, detection, investigation, and response to email, collaboration, identity, device, and app threats in a central place. This single pane of glass brings together functionality from existing Microsoft security portals, like the Microsoft Defender portal and the Office 365 Security and Compliance portal. The Microsoft Defender portal emphasizes quick access to information, simpler layouts, and bringing related information together for easier use. It includes Microsoft Defender for Office 365. Microsoft Defender for Office 365 helps organizations secure their enterprise with a set of prevention, detection, investigation and hunting features to protect email and Office 365 resources. Microsoft Defender for Endpoint delivers preventative protection, post-breach detection, automated investigation, and response for devices in your organization. Microsoft Defender XDR is part of Microsoft's Extended Detection and Response (XDR) solution that uses the Microsoft 365 security portfolio to automatically analyze threat data across domains and build a picture of an attack on a single dashboard. Microsoft Defender for Cloud Apps is a comprehensive cross-SaaS and PaaS solution bringing deep visibility, strong data controls, and enhanced threat protection to your cloud apps. Microsoft Defender for Identity is a cloud-based security solution that uses your on-premises Active Directory signals to identify, detect, and investigate advanced threats, compromised identities, and malicious insider actions directed at your organization. Microsoft Defender Vulnerability Management delivers continuous asset visibility, intelligent risk-based assessments, and built-in remediation tools to help your security and IT teams prioritize and address critical vulnerabilities and misconfigurations across your organization. The More Resources option in the portal provides a list of these related portals. Expand table. Portal description. Microsoft Purview Compliance Portal. Manage your compliance needs across Microsoft 365 services using integrated solutions for information governance, classification, case management, and more. Microsoft Entra ID. Manage your organization's identities. Set up multi-factor authentication, track user sign-ins, edit company branding, and more. Microsoft Entra ID Protection. Detect potential vulnerabilities affecting your organization's identities. Investigate suspicious incidents related to your organization's identities and set up automated responses to resolve them. Azure Information Protection Configure and manage the Azure Information Protection Client and Scanner to automatically classify and protect your organization's email and docs. Use reports to monitor label usage and identify sensitive info that should be protected. Microsoft Defender for Cloud. Protect your data centers and get advanced threat protection for your Azure and non-Azure workloads in the cloud and on-premises. Secure your Azure services fast with auto-provisioned, native protection. Note: Microsoft Defender for Business is a licensing model designed especially for the small and medium-sized business, up to 300 employees. You might find Microsoft Defender portal content in the documentation section of Microsoft Defender for Business. The solutions use the same portal, https://security.microsoft.com, and therefore the documentation applies. Required roles and permissions. The following table outlines the roles and permissions required to access each unified experience in each workload. Roles defined in the table below refer to custom roles in individual portals and aren't connected to global roles in Microsoft Entra ID, even if similarly named. Note: Incident management requires management permissions for all products that are part of the incident. Expand table. One of the following roles is required for Microsoft Defender XDR. One of the following roles is required for Defender for Endpoint. One of the following roles is required for Defender for Office 365. One of the following roles is required for Defender for Cloud Apps. Viewing investigation data. Alert page. Alerts queue. Incidents. Incident queue. Action center. View data. Security operations. View only. Manage alerts. Organization configuration. Audit logs. View only audit logs. Security reader. Security admin. View only recipients. Global admin. Security admin. Compliance admin. Security operator. Security reader. Global reader. Viewing hunting data. View data. Security operations. Security reader. Security admin. View only recipients. Global admin. Security admin. Compliance admin. Security operator. Security reader. Global reader. Managing alerts and incidents. Alerts investigation. Manage alerts. Security admin. Global admin. Security admin. Compliance admin. Security operator. Manage incidents. Completed 100 XP. 8 minutes. Microsoft Defender XDR provides a cross-domain threat correlation and purpose-driven portal to investigate threats. Incidents are based on related alerts created when a malicious event or activity is seen on your network. Individual alerts provide valuable clues about an ongoing attack. However, attacks typically employ various vectors and techniques to carry out a breach. Piecing individual clues together can be challenging and time-consuming. This short video gives an overview of incidents in Microsoft Defender XDR. An incident is a collection of correlated alerts that make up the story of an attack. Microsoft Defender XDR automatically aggregates malicious and suspicious events that are found in different device, user, and mailbox entities in the network. Grouping related alerts into an incident gives security defenders a comprehensive view of an attack. For instance, security defenders can see where the attack started, what tactics were used, and how far the attack has gone into the network. Security defenders can also see the scope of the attack, like how many devices, users, and mailboxes were impacted, how severe the impact was, and other details about affected entities. If enabled, Microsoft Defender XDR can automatically investigate and resolve the individual alerts through automation and artificial intelligence. Security defenders can also perform more remediation steps to resolve the attack straight from the incident's view. Incidents from the last 30 days are shown in the incident queue. From here, security defenders can see which incidents should be prioritized based on risk level and other factors. Security defenders can also rename incidents, assign them to individual analysts, classify, and add tags to incidents for a better and more customized incident management experience. Prioritize incidents. Microsoft Defender XDR applies correlation analytics and aggregates all related alerts and investigations from different products into one incident. Microsoft Defender XDR also triggers unique alerts on activities that can only be identified as malicious given the end-to-end visibility that Microsoft Defender XDR has across the entire estate and suite of products. This view gives your security operations analyst the broader attack story, which helps them better understand and deal with complex threats across the organization. The incidents queue shows a collection of flagged incidents from across devices, users, and mailboxes. It helps you sort through incidents to prioritize and create an informed cybersecurity response decision. By default, the queue in the Microsoft Defender portal displays incidents seen in the last 30 days. The most recent incident is at the top of the list so that you can see it first. The incident queue exposes customizable columns that give you visibility into different characteristics of the incident or the contained entities. This deeper layer of information helps you make an informed decision regarding the prioritization of incidents to handle. For more clarity at a glance, automatic incident naming generates incident names based on alert attributes such as the number of endpoints affected, users affected, detection sources, or categories. The automatic naming allows you to quickly understand the scope of the incident. Available filters. Status. You can choose to limit the list of incidents shown based on their status to see which ones are active or resolved. Severity. The severity of an incident is indicative of the impact it can have on your assets. The higher the severity, the bigger the impact and typically requires the most immediate attention. Incident assignment. You can choose to show alerts that are assigned to you or the alerts handled by automation. Multiple service source. Select No, Default, or Yes to enable. Service sources. Filter to only see incidents that contain alerts from different sources. Sources include Microsoft Defender for Endpoint, Microsoft Cloud App Security, Microsoft Defender for Identity, Microsoft Defender for Office 365. Tags. Filter on assigned tags. Any assigned tags will appear once you select the type tag name field. Multiple category. You can choose to see only incidents that have mapped to multiple categories and can thus potentially cause more damage. Categories. Choose categories to focus on specific tactics, techniques, or attack components seen. Entities. Filter on entity name or ID. Data sensitivity. Some attacks focus on targeting to exfiltrate sensitive or valuable data. By applying a filter to see if sensitive data is involved in the incident, you can quickly determine if sensitive information has been compromised. And if a compromise is found, you can prioritize a response to those incidents. This filtering ability is only applicable if Microsoft Purview information protection is turned on. Device group. Filter by defined device groups. OS platform. Limit the incident queue view by operating system. Classification. Filter incidents based on the set classifications of the related alerts. The values include true alerts, false alerts, or not set. Automated investigation state. Filter incidents by the status of the automated investigation. Associated threat. Selecting the type associated threat field will allow you to enter threat information and bring up previous search criteria. Preview incidents. The portal pages provide preview information for most list-related data. In this screenshot, the three highlighted areas are the circle, the greater than symbol, and the actual link. Circle. Selecting the circle will open a details window on the right side of the page with a preview of the line item with an option to open the full page of information. Greater than symbol. If there are related records that can be displayed, selecting the greater than sign will display the records below the current record. Link. The link will navigate you to the full page for the line item. Manage incidents. Managing incidents is critical in ensuring that threats are contained and addressed. In Microsoft Defender XDR, you have access to managing incidents on devices, users, and mailboxes. You can manage incidents by selecting an incident from the incidents queue. You can edit the name of an incident, resolve it, set its classification and determination. You can also assign the incident to yourself, add incident tags and comments. In cases where you would like to move alerts from one incident to another, during an investigation, you can also do so from the Alerts tab. Using the Alerts tab allows you to create a larger or smaller incident that includes all relevant alerts. Edit incident name. Incidents are automatically assigned a name based on alert attributes such as the number of endpoints affected, users affected, detection sources, or categories. Naming based on alert attributes allows you to quickly understand the scope of the incident. You can modify the incident name to better align with your preferred naming convention. Assign incidents. If an incident hasn't yet been assigned, you can select Assign to Me to assign the incident to yourself. Doing so assumes ownership of not just the incident but also all the alerts associated with it. Set status and classification. Incident status. You can categorize incidents as active or resolved by changing their status as your investigation progresses. This ability to update status helps you organize and manage how your team can respond to incidents. For example, your SOC analyst can review the urgent active incidents for the day and decide to assign them to themselves for investigation. Alternatively, your SOC analyst might set the incident as resolved if the incident has been remediated. Resolving an incident will automatically close all open alerts that are part of the incident. Classification and determination. You can choose not to set a classification or decide to specify whether an incident is true alert or false alert. Doing so helps the team see patterns and learn from them. Add comments. You can add comments and view historical events about an incident to see previous changes made to it. Whenever a change or comment is made to an alert, it's recorded in the Comments and History section. Added comments instantly appear on the pane. Add incident tags. You can add custom tags to an incident, for example, to flag a group of incidents with common characteristics. You can later filter the incidents queue for all incidents that contain a specific tag. Next unit, investigate incidents. Continue. For issues related to this module, explore existing questions using the hashtag Azure Training tag or ask a question on Microsoft Q&A. For issues related to certifications and exams, post on certification support forums or visit our credentials help. Investigate incidents. Completed 100 XP. 4 minutes. The incident page provides the following information and navigation links. Incident overview. The overview page gives you a snapshot glance into the top things to notice about the incident. The attack categories give you a visual and numeric view of how advanced the attack has progressed against the kill chain. As with other Microsoft security products, Microsoft Defender XDR is aligned to the MITRE ATT and CK framework. The scope section gives you a list of top impacted assets that are part of this incident. If there's specific information regarding this asset, such as risk level, investigation priority, and any tagging on the assets, it will also surface in this section. The alerts timeline provides a sneak peek into the chronological order in which the alerts occurred and the reasons that these alerts link to this incident. And last, the evidence section provides a summary of how many different artifacts were included in the incident and their remediation status, so you can immediately identify if any action is needed on your end. This overview can help the initial triage of the incident by providing insight into the top characteristics of the incident that you should be aware of. Alerts. You can view all the alerts related to the incident and other information about them such as severity, entities that were involved in the alert, the source of the alerts, Microsoft Defender for Identity, Microsoft Defender for Endpoint, Microsoft Defender for Office 365, and the reason they were linked together. By default, the alerts are ordered chronologically to allow you to first view how the attack played out over time. Clicking on each alert will lead you to the relevant alert page, where you can conduct an in-depth investigation of that alert. Devices. The Devices tab lists all the devices where alerts related to the incident are seen. Clicking on the name link of the machine where the attack was conducted navigates you to its device page. On the device page, you can see alerts that were triggered on it and related events provided to ease investigation. Users. See users that have been identified to be part of or related to a given incident. Clicking the username navigates you to the user's Microsoft Defender for Cloud Apps page, where further investigation can be conducted. Mailboxes. Investigate mailboxes that have been identified to be part of or related to an incident. Apps. Investigate apps that have been identified to be part of or related to an incident. Investigations. Select investigations to see all the automated investigations triggered by alerts in this incident. The investigations will perform remediation actions or wait for analyst approval of actions. Select an investigation to navigate to its investigation details page to get full information on the investigation and remediation status. If any actions are pending for approval as part of the investigation, they'll appear in the Pending Actions tab. Evidence and responses. Microsoft Defender XDR automatically investigates all the incident-supported events and suspicious entities in the alerts, providing you with auto-response and information about the important files, processes, services, emails, and more. This helps quickly detect and block potential threats in the incident. Each of the analyzed entities will be marked with a verdict, malicious, suspicious, clean, and a remediation status. This helps you understand the remediation status of the entire incident and the next steps to further remediate. Graph. The graph visualizes associated cybersecurity threats information into an incident so you can see the patterns and correlations coming in from various data points. You can view such correlation through the incident graph. The graph tells the story of the cybersecurity attack. For example, it shows you the entry point, which indicator of compromise or activity was observed on which device, etc. You can select the circles on the incident graph to view the details of the malicious files, associated file detections, how many instances have there been worldwide, whether it's been observed in your organization, if so, how many instances. Next unit, manage and investigate alerts. Continue. For issues related to this module, explore existing questions using the hashtag Azure Training tag or ask a question on Microsoft Q&A. For issues related to certifications and exams, post on certification support forums or visit our credentials help. Manage and investigate alerts. Completed 100 XP. 10 minutes. Manage investigate alerts. You can manage alerts by selecting an alert in the Alerts queue or the Alerts tab of the device page for an individual device. Selecting an alert in either of those places brings up the alert management pane. Alert management. You can view and set metadata about the alert preview or alert details page. The metadata fields include and actions include severity, high, red, alerts commonly seen associated with advanced persistent threats, APT, These alerts indicate a high risk because of the severity of damage they can inflict on devices. Examples include credential theft tools activities, ransomware activities not associated with any group, tampering with security sensors, or any malicious activities indicative of a human adversary. Medium, orange, alerts from endpoint detection and response post-breach behaviors that might be a part of an advanced persistent threat, APT. This includes observed behaviors typical of attack stages, anomalous registry change, execution of suspicious files, and so forth. Although some might be part of internal security testing, it requires investigation as it might also be a part of an advanced attack. Low, yellow, alerts on threats associated with prevalent malware. For example, hack tools, non-malware hack tools, such as running exploration commands, clearing logs, etc. often don't indicate an advanced threat targeting the organization. It could also come from an isolated security tool testing by a user in your organization. Informational, gray, alerts that might not be considered harmful to the network but can drive organizational security awareness on potential security issues. Microsoft Defender Antivirus, Microsoft Defender AV, and Defender for Endpoint alert severities are different because they represent different scopes. The Microsoft Defender AV threat severity represents the absolute severity of the detected threat, malware, and is assigned based on the potential risk to the individual device if infected. The Defender for Endpoint alert severity represents the severity of the detected behavior, the actual risk to the device, and most importantly, the potential risk to the organization. So, for example, the severity of a Defender for Endpoint alert about a Microsoft Defender AV detected threat that was prevented and didn't infect the device is categorized as informational because there was no actual damage. An alert about a commercial malware was detected while executing, but blocked and remediated by Microsoft Defender AV, is categorized as low because it may have caused some damage to the individual device but poses no organizational threat. An alert about malware detected while executing, which can pose a threat not only to the individual device but to the organization, regardless if it was eventually blocked, may be ranked as medium or high. Suspicious behavioral alerts, which weren't blocked or remediated, will be ranked low, medium or high following the same organizational threat considerations. Categories. The alert categories align closely with the attack tactics and techniques in the MITRE ATT and CK Enterprise Matrix. Note: the alert categories also include items, like unwanted software, that are not part of the ATT and CK matrices. The categories are: collection, locating and collecting data for exfiltration; command and control, connecting to attacker-controlled network infrastructure to relay data or receive commands; credential access, obtaining valid credentials to extend control over devices and other resources in the network; defense evasion, avoiding security controls by, for example, turning off security apps, deleting implants, and running rootkits; discovery, gathering information about important devices and resources, such as administrator computers, domain controllers, and file servers; execution, launching attacker tools and malicious code, including rats and backdoors; exfiltration, extracting data from the network to an external, attacker-controlled location; exploit code and possible exploitation activity; initial access, gaining initial entry to the target network, usually involving password guessing, exploits, or phishing emails; lateral movement, moving between devices in the target network to reach critical resources or gain network persistence; malware, backdoors, trojans, and other types of malicious code; persistence, creating auto-start extensibility points, ASEPs, to remain active and survive system restarts; privilege escalation, obtaining higher permission levels for code by running it in the context of a privileged process or account; ransomware, malware that encrypts files and extorts payment to restore access; suspicious activity, atypical activity that could be malware activity or part of an attack; unwanted software, low reputation apps and apps that impact productivity and the user experience, detected as potentially unwanted applications, PUAs; linked to another incident. You can create a new incident from the alert or link to an existing incident. Assign alerts. If an alert isn't yet assigned, you can select Assign to Me to assign the alert to yourself. Suppress alerts. There might be scenarios where you need to suppress alerts from appearing in Microsoft Defender Security Center. Defender for Endpoint lets you create suppression rules for specific alerts that are known to be innocuous, such as known tools or processes in your organization. Suppression rules can be created from an existing alert. They can be disabled and re-enabled if needed. When a suppression rule is created, it takes effect from the point when the rule is created. The rule won't affect existing alerts already in the queue prior to the rule creation. The rule will only be applied to alerts that satisfy the conditions set after the rule is created. There are two contexts for a suppression rule that you can choose from. Suppress alert on this device. Suppress alert in my organization. The context of the rule lets you tailor what gets surfaced into the portal and ensure that only real security alerts are surfaced into the portal. Change the status of an alert. You can categorize alerts as new, in progress, or resolved by changing their status as your investigation progresses. This helps you organize and manage how your team can respond to alerts. For example, a team leader can review all new alerts, and decide to assign them to the in-progress queue for further analysis. Alternatively, the team leader might assign the alert to the resolved queue if they know the alert is benign, coming from an irrelevant device, such as one belonging to a security administrator, or is being dealt with through an earlier alert. Alert classification. You can choose not to set a classification or specify whether an alert is a true alert or a false alert. It's important to provide the classification of true positive/false positive because it is used to monitor alert quality and make alerts more accurate. The determination field defines extra fidelity for a true positive classification. Add comments and view the history of an alert. You can add comments and view historical events about an alert to see previous changes made to the alert. Whenever a change or comment is made to an alert, it's recorded in the Comments and History section. Added comments instantly appear on the pane. Alert investigation. Investigate alerts that are affecting your network, understand what they mean, and how to resolve them. Select an alert from the Alerts queue to go to Alert page. This view contains the alert title, the affected assets, the details side pane, and the alert story. From the Alert page, begin your investigation by selecting the affected assets or any of the entities under the Alert Story tree view. The Details pane automatically populates with further information about what you selected. Investigate using the Alert Story. The Alert Story details why the alert was triggered, related events that happened before and after, and other related entities. Entities are clickable, and every entity that isn't an alert is expandable using the expand icon on the right side of that entity's card. The entity in focus will be indicated by a blue stripe to the left side of that entity's card, with the alert and the title being in focus at first. Selecting an entity switches the context of the Details pane to this entity, and will allow you to review further information, and manage that entity. Selecting, to the right of the entity card reveals all actions available for that entity. These same actions appear in the Details pane when that entity is in focus. Take action from the Details pane. Once you've selected an entity of interest, the Details pane changes to display information about the selected entity type, historic information when it's available, and offer controls to take action on this entity directly from the Alert page. Once you're done investigating, go back to the alert you started with, mark the alert status as resolved and classify it as either false alert or true alert. Classifying alerts helps tune this capability to provide more true alerts and fewer false alerts. If you classify it as a true alert, you can also select a determination. If you're experiencing a false alert with a line of business application, create a suppression rule to avoid this type of alert in the future. Next unit, manage automated investigations. Continue. For issues related to this module, explore existing questions using the hashtag Azure. Manage automated investigations. Completed 100 XP. 3 minutes. Manage automated investigations. Your security operations team receives an alert whenever Microsoft Defender detects a malicious or suspicious artifact from an endpoint. Security operations teams face challenges in addressing the multitude of alerts that arise from the seemingly never-ending flow of threats. Microsoft Defender for Endpoint includes automated investigation and remediation, AIR, capabilities that can help your security operations team address threats more efficiently and effectively. The technology in automated investigation uses various inspection algorithms and is based on processes that are used by security analysts. AIR capabilities are designed to examine alerts and take immediate action to resolve breaches. AIR capabilities significantly reduce alert volume, allowing security operations to focus on more sophisticated threats and other high-value initiatives. The Action Center keeps track of all the investigations that were initiated automatically, along with details, such as investigation status, detection source, and any pending or completed actions. How the automated investigation starts. When an alert is triggered, a security playbook goes into effect. Depending on the security playbook, an automated investigation can start. For example, suppose a malicious file resides on a device. When that file is detected, an alert is triggered, and the automated investigation process begins. Microsoft Defender for Endpoint checks to see if the malicious file is present on any other devices in the organization. Details from the investigation, including verdicts, malicious, suspicious, and no threats found, are available during and after the automated investigation. To learn more about what happens after a verdict is reached, see Automated Investigation Results and Remediation Actions. Details of an automated investigation. During and after an automated investigation, you can view details about the investigation. Select a triggering alert to view the investigation details. From there, you can go to the investigation graph, alerts, devices, evidence, entities, and log tabs. Alerts, the alerts that started the investigation. Devices, the devices where the threat was seen. Evidence, the entities that were found to be malicious during an investigation. Entities, details about each analyzed entity, including a determination for each entity type, malicious, suspicious, or no threats found. Log, the chronological, detailed view of all the investigation actions taken on the alert. Pending actions, if there are any actions awaiting approval as a result of the investigation, the Pending Actions tab is displayed. On the Pending Actions tab, you can approve or reject each action. How an automated investigation expands its scope. While an investigation is running, any other alerts generated from the device are added to an ongoing automated investigation until that investigation is completed. In addition, if the same threat is seen on other devices, those devices are added to the investigation. If an incriminated entity is seen in another device, the automated investigation process expands its scope to include that device, and a general security playbook starts on that device. If 10 or more devices are found during this expansion process from the same entity, then that expansion action requires approval and is visible on the Pending Actions tab. How threats are remediated. As alerts are triggered and an automated investigation runs, a verdict is generated for each piece of evidence investigated. Verdicts can be malicious, suspicious, or no threats found. As verdicts are reached, automated investigations can result in one or more remediation actions. Examples of remediation actions include sending a file to quarantine, stopping a service, removing a scheduled task, and more. See remediation actions. Depending on the level of automation set for your organization and other security settings, remediation actions can occur automatically or only upon approval by your security operations team. Other security settings that can affect automatic remediation include protection from potentially unwanted applications, PUA. All remediation actions, whether pending or completed, can be viewed in the Action Center https://security.microsoft.com. If necessary, your security operations team can undo a remediation action. Automation levels in automated investigation and remediation capabilities. Automated investigation and remediation, AIR, capabilities in Microsoft Defender for Endpoint can be configured to one of several levels of automation. Your automation level affects whether remediation actions following AIR investigations are taken automatically or only upon approval. Full automation, recommended, means remediation actions are taken automatically on artifacts determined to be malicious. Semi-automation means some remediation actions are taken automatically, but other remediation actions await approval before being taken. See the table in levels of automation. All remediation actions, whether pending or completed, are tracked in the Action Center. Levels of automation. Full, remediate threats automatically, also referred to as full automation. With full automation, remediation actions are performed automatically. All remediation actions that are taken can be viewed in the Action Center on the History tab. If necessary, a remediation action can be undone. Require approval for any remediation, also referred to as semi-automation. With this level of semi-automation, approval is required for any remediation action. Such pending actions can be viewed and approved in the Action Center, on the Pending tab. Require approval for core folders remediation, also a type of semi-automation. With this level of semi-automation, approval is required for any remediation actions needed on files or executables that are in core folders. Core folders include operating system directories, such as the Windows, /Windows. Remediation actions can be taken automatically on files or executables that are in other, non-core, folders. Pending actions for files or executables in core folders can be viewed and approved in the Action Center, on the Pending tab. Actions that were taken on files or executables in other folders can be viewed in the Action Center, on the History tab. Require approval for non-temp folders remediation, also a type of semi-automation. With this level of semi-automation, approval is required for any remediation actions needed on files or executables that aren't in temporary folders. Temporary folders can include the following examples: /users /updata /local /temp, /documents and settings /local settings /temp, /documents and settings /local settings /temporary, /windows /temp, /users /downloads, /program files /program files, x86, /documents and settings /users. Remediation actions can be taken automatically on files or executables that are in temporary folders. Pending actions for files or executables that aren't in temporary folders can be viewed and approved in the Action Center, on the Pending tab. Actions that were taken on files or executables in temporary folders can be viewed and approved in the Action Center on the History tab. No automated response, also referred to as no automation. With no automation, the automated investigation doesn't run on your organization's devices. As a result, no remediation actions are taken or pending as a result of an automated investigation. However, other threat protection features, such as protection from potentially unwanted applications, can be in effect, depending on how your antivirus and next-generation protection features are configured. Using the No Automation option isn't recommended because it reduces the security posture of your organization's devices. Consider setting up your automation level to full automation, or at least semi-automation. Important points about automation levels. Full automation has proven to be reliable, efficient, and safe, and is recommended for all customers. Full automation frees up your critical security resources so they can focus more on your strategic initiatives. If your security team has defined device groups with a level of automation, those settings aren't changed by the new default settings that are rolling out. Next unit, use the Action Center. Continue. For issues related to this module, explore existing questions using the hashtag Azure Training tag or ask a question on Microsoft Q&A. For issues related to certifications and exams, post on certification support forums or visit our credentials help. Use the Action Center. Completed 100 XP. 14 minutes. Action Center. The unified Action Center of the Microsoft Defender portal lists pending and completed remediation actions for your devices, email and collaboration content, and identities in one location. The unified Action Center brings together remediation actions across Defender for Endpoint and Defender for Office 365. It defines a common language for all remediation actions and provides a unified investigation experience. Your security operations team has a single pane of glass experience to view and manage remediation actions. The Action Center consists of pending and historical items. Pending displays a list of ongoing investigations that require attention. Recommended actions are presented that your security operations team can approve or reject. The Pending tab appears only if there are pending actions to be approved or rejected. History as an audit log for all of the following items. Remediation actions that were taken as a result of an automated investigation. Remediation actions that were approved by your security operations team. Some actions, such as sending a file to quarantine, can be undone. Commands that were run and remediation actions that were applied in live response sessions. Some actions can be undone. Remediation actions that were applied by Microsoft Defender Antivirus. Some actions can be undone. Select Automated Investigations, then Action Center. When an automated investigation runs, a verdict is generated for each piece of evidence investigated. Verdicts can be malicious, suspicious, or no threats found depending on type of threat. Resulting verdict. How your organization's device groups are configured. Remediation actions can occur automatically or only upon approval by your organization's security operations team. Review pending actions. To approve or reject a pending action, select any item on the Pending tab. Select an investigation from any of the categories to open a panel where you can approve or reject remediation actions. Other details, such as file or service details, investigation details, and alert details are displayed. From the panel, you can select the Open Investigation page link to see the investigation details. You can also select multiple investigations to approve or reject actions on multiple investigations. Review completed actions. To review completed actions, select the History tab. If need be, expand the time period to display more data. Select an item to view more details about that remediation action. Undo completed actions. You've determined that a device or a file isn't a threat. You can undo remediation actions that were taken, whether those actions were taken automatically or manually. You can undo any of the following actions. Source. Automated investigation. Microsoft Defender Antivirus. Manual response actions. Supported actions. Isolate device. Restrict code execution. Quarantine a file. Remove a registry key. Stop a service. Disable a driver. Remove a scheduled task. Remove a file from quarantine across multiple devices. To remove a file from quarantine across multiple devices, on the History tab, select a file that has the action type quarantine file. In the pane on the right side of the screen, select Apply to X more instances of this file, and then select Undo. Viewing action source details. The Action Center includes an action source column that tells you where each action came from. The following table describes possible action source values. Expand table. Action source value description. Manual device action. A manual action taken on a device. Examples include device isolation or file quarantine. Manual email action. A manual action taken on email. An example includes soft deleting email messages or remediating an email message. Automated device action. An automated action taken on an entity, such as a file or process. Examples of automated actions include sending a file to quarantine, stopping a process, and removing a registry key. Automated email action. An automated action taken on email content, such as an email message, attachment, or URL. Examples of automated actions include soft deleting email messages, blocking URLs, and turning off external mail forwarding. Advanced hunting actions taken on devices or email with Advanced Hunting. Explorer actions taken on email content with Explorer. Manual live response actions taken on a device with live response. Examples include deleting a file, stopping a process, and removing a scheduled task. Live response actions taken on a device with Microsoft Defender for Endpoint APIs. Examples of actions include isolating a device, running an antivirus scan, and getting information about a file. Submissions. In Microsoft 365 organizations with Exchange Online mailboxes, admins can use the Submissions portal in the Microsoft Defender portal to submit email messages, URLs, and attachments to Microsoft for scanning. When you submit an email message for analysis, you'll get email authentication check, details on whether email authentication passed or failed when it was delivered. Policy hits, information about any policies that may have allowed or blocked the incoming email into your tenant, overriding our service filter verdicts. Payload reputation/detonation. Up-to-date examination of any URLs and attachments in the message. Grader analysis. Review done by human graders in order to confirm whether or not messages are malicious. Important. Payload reputation/detonation and grader analysis are not done in all tenants. Information is blocked from going outside the organization when data is not supposed to leave the tenant boundary for compliance purposes. What do you need to know before you begin? To submit messages and files to Microsoft, you need to have one of following roles: Security Administrator or Security Reader in the Microsoft Defender portal. Admins can submit messages as old as 30 days if it's still available in the mailbox and not purged by the user or another admin. Admin submissions are throttled at the following rates: maximum submissions in any 15 minutes period, 150 submissions. Same submissions in a 24-hour period, 3 submissions. Same submissions in a 15-minute period, 1 submission. Report suspicious content to Microsoft. On the Submissions page, verify that the Emails, Email Attachments, or URLs tab is selected based on the type of content you want to report, and then select the Submit to Microsoft for Analysis icon. Submit to Microsoft for Analysis. Use the Submit to Microsoft for Analysis flyout that appears to submit the respective type of content, email, URL, or email attachment. Note: file and URL submissions are not available in the clouds that do not allow for data to leave the environment. The ability to select file or URL will be grayed out. Notify users from within the portal. On the Submissions page, select User Reported Messages tab, and then select the message you want to mark and notify. Select the Mark as a Notify dropdown, and then select No Threats Found greater than phishing or junk. The reported message will be marked as a false positive or a false negative. An email notification is sent automatically from within the portal to the user who reported the message. Submit a questionable email to Microsoft. In the Select the Submission Type box, verify that email is selected in the drop-down list. In the Add the Network Message ID or Upload the Email File section, use one of the following options. Add the Email Network Message ID. The ID is a GID value that's available in the XMS Exchange Organization Network Message ID header in the message or in the XMS Office 365 Filtering Correlation ID header in Quarantine Messages. Upload the email file, .message, or EML. Select Browse Files. In the dialog that opens, find and select the EML or message file, and then select Open. In the Choose a Recipient who had an issue box, specify the recipient that you would like to run a policy check against. The policy check will determine if the email bypass scanning due to user or organization policies. In the Select a Reason for Submitting to Microsoft section, select one of the following options. Shouldn't have been blocked, false positive. Should have been blocked, false negative. In the email should have been categorized as section that appears, select one of the following values. If you're not sure, use your best judgment: phish, malware, or spam. When you're finished, select Submit. Send a suspect URL to Microsoft. In the Select the Submission Type box, select URL from the drop-down list. In the URL box that appears, enter the full URL. For example, https://www.fabricam.com/marketing.html. In the Select a Reason for Submitting to Microsoft section, select one of the following options. Shouldn't have been blocked, false positive. Should have been blocked, false negative. In the This URL should have been categorized as section that appears, select one of the following values. If you're not sure, use your best judgment: phish, malware. When you're finished, select Submit. Submit a suspected email attachment to Microsoft. In the Select the Submission Type box, select Email Attachment from the drop-down list. In the File section that appears, select Browse Files. In the dialog that opens, find and select the file, and then select Open. In the Select a Reason for Submitting to Microsoft section, select one of the following options. Shouldn't have been blocked, false positive. Should have been blocked, false negative. In the "this file should have been categorized as" section that appears, select one of the following values. If you're not sure, use your best judgment. Phish, malware. When you're finished, select submit. Note: if malware filtering has replaced the message attachments with the malware alert text.txt file, you need to submit the original message from Quarantine that contains the original attachments. For more information on Quarantine and how to release messages with malware false positives, see Manage Quarantine Messages and Files as an admin. View admin submissions to Microsoft. On the Submissions page, verify that the Emails, URL, or Email Attachment tab is selected. You can sort the entries by clicking on an available column header. Select Customize Columns to show a maximum of 7 columns. The default values are marked with an asterisk. Submission name, sender, recipient, date submitted, reason for submitting, status, result, filter verdict, delivery/block reason, submission ID, network message ID/object ID, direction, sender IP, bulk compliant level, BCL, destination, policy action, submitted by, Phish simulation, tags, allow. When you're finished, select apply. Admin submission result details. Messages that are submitted in admin submissions are reviewed and results shown in the submissions detail flyout. If there was a failure in the sender's email authentication at the time of delivery, information about any policy hits that could have affected or overridden the verdict of a message. Current detonation results to see if the URLs or files contained in the message are malicious or not. Feedback from graders. If an override was found, the results should be available in several minutes. If there wasn't a problem in email authentication or delivery wasn't affected by an override, then the feedback from graders could take up to a day. View user submissions to Microsoft. If you've deployed the report message add-in, the report phishing add-in, or people use the built-in reporting in Outlook on the web, you can see what users are reporting on the User Reported Message tab. On the Submissions page, select the User Reported Messages tab. You can sort the entries by clicking on an available column header. Select Customize Columns to show the options. The default values are marked with an asterisk. Email subject, reported by, date reported, sender, reported reason, result, message reported ID, network message ID, sender IP, reported from, Phish simulation, converted to admin submission, tags, marked as, marked by, date marked. When you're finished, select apply. Note: if organizations are configured to send user-reported messages to the custom mailbox only, reported messages will appear in user-reported messages but their results will always be empty, as they would not have been rescanned. Undo user submissions. Once a user submits a suspicious email to the custom mailbox, the user and admin don't have an option to undo the submission. If the user would like to recover the email, it will be available for recovery in the deleted items or junk email folders. Converting user-reported messages from the custom mailbox into an admin submission. If you've configured the custom mailbox to intercept user-reported messages without sending the messages to Microsoft, you can find and send specific messages to Microsoft for analysis. On the User-Reported Messages tab, select a message in the list, select Submit to Microsoft for analysis, and then select one of the following values from the drop-down list. Report clean, report phishing, report malware, report spam, trigger investigation. Next unit, explore advanced hunting. Continue. For issues related to this module, explore advanced hunting. Completed 100 XP. 3 minutes. Advanced hunting is a query-based threat hunting tool that lets you explore up to 30 days of raw data. You can proactively inspect events in your network to locate threat indicators and entities. The flexible access to data enables unconstrained hunting for both known and potential threats. You can use the same threat hunting queries to build custom detection rules. These rules run automatically to check for and then respond to suspected breach activity, misconfigured machines, and other findings. The advanced hunting capability supports queries that check a broader data set from Microsoft Defender for Endpoint, Microsoft Defender for Office 365, Microsoft Defender for Cloud Apps, Microsoft Defender for Identity. To use advanced hunting, turn on Microsoft Defender XDR. Data freshness and update frequency. Advanced hunting data can be categorized into 2 distinct types, each consolidated differently. Event or activity data populates tables about alerts, security events, system events, and routine assessments. Advanced hunting receives this data almost immediately after the sensors that collect them successfully transmit them to the corresponding cloud services. For example, you can query event data from healthy sensors on workstations or domain controllers almost immediately after they're available on Microsoft Defender for Endpoint and Microsoft Defender for Identity. Entity data populates tables with information about users and devices. This data comes from both relatively static data sources and dynamic sources, such as Active Directory entries and event logs. To provide fresh data, tables are updated with any new information every 15 minutes, adding rows that might not be fully populated. Every 24 hours, data is consolidated to insert a record that contains the latest, most comprehensive data set about each entity. Time zone. Time information in advanced hunting is in the UTC zone. Data schema. The advanced hunting schema is made up of multiple tables that provide either event information or information about devices, alerts, identities, and other entity types. To effectively build queries that span multiple tables, you need to understand the tables and the columns in the advanced hunting schema. Get schema information. While constructing queries, use the built-in schema reference to quickly get the following information about each table in the schema. Table description. Type of data contained in the table and the source of that data. Columns. All the columns in the table. Action types. Possible values in the action type column representing the event types supported by the table. This information is provided only for tables that contain event information. Sample query. Example queries that feature how the table can be utilized. Access the schema reference. To quickly access the schema reference, select the View Reference action next to the table name in the schema representation. You can also select Schema Reference to search for a table. Learn the schema tables. The following reference lists all the tables in the schema. Each table name links to a page describing the column names for that table. Table and column names are also listed in the Security Center as part of the schema representation on the Advanced Hunting screen. Expand table. Table name description alert evidence files, IP addresses, URLs, users, or devices associated with alerts. Alert info alerts from Microsoft Defender for Endpoint, Microsoft Defender for Office 365, Microsoft Cloud App Security, and Microsoft Defender for Identity, including severity information and threat categorization. Cloud app events. Events involving accounts and objects in Office 365 and other cloud apps and services. Device events. Multiple event types, including events triggered by security controls such as Windows Defender antivirus and exploit protection. Device file. Certificate info. Certificate information of signed files obtained. Custom detections. With custom detections, you can proactively monitor for and respond to various events and system states, including suspected breach activity and misconfigured endpoints. This is made possible by customizable detection rules that automatically trigger alerts and response actions. Custom detections work with Advanced Hunting, which provides a powerful, flexible query language that covers a broad set of event and system information from your network. You can set them to run at regular intervals, generating alerts and taking response actions whenever there are matches. Custom detections provide alerts for rule-based detections built from Advanced Hunting queries, automatic response actions that apply to files and devices. Create detection rules. To create detection rules, 1. Prepare the query. In Microsoft Defender Security Center, go to Advanced Hunting and select an existing query or create a new query. When using a new query, run the query to identify errors and understand possible results. Important. To prevent the service from returning too many alerts, each rule is limited to generating only 100 alerts whenever it runs. Before creating a rule, tweak your query to avoid alerting for normal, day-to-day activity. To use a query for a custom detection rule, the query must return the following columns. Timestamp. Device ID. Report ID. Simple queries, such as those that don't use the project or summarize operator to customize or aggregate results, typically return these common columns. There are various ways to ensure more complex queries return these columns. For example, if you prefer to aggregate and count by device ID, you can still return timestamp and report ID by getting them from the most recent event involving each device. The sample query below counts the number of unique devices, device ID, with antivirus detections and uses this to find only those devices with more than 5 detections. To return the latest timestamp and the corresponding report ID, it uses the summarize operator with the arg_max function. Custo copy. Device events, where timestamp greater than a Go7D, where action type equals antivirus detection, summarize, timestamp, reported equals arg_max timestamp, reported, count by device ID, where count underscore greater than 5. 2. Create a new rule and provide alert details. With the query in the query editor, select create detection rule and specify the following alert details. Detection name, name of the detection rule. Frequency, interval for running the query and taking action. See additional guidance below. Alert title, title displayed with alerts triggered by the rule. Severity, potential risk of the component or activity identified by the rule. Category, type of threat component or activity, if any. MITRE ATT and CK techniques, one or more attack techniques identified by the rule as documented in the MITRE ATT and CK framework. This section isn't available with certain alert categories, such as malware, ransomware, suspicious activity, and unwanted software. Description: more information about the component or activity identified by the rule. Recommended actions: additional actions that responders might take in response to an alert. 3. Rule frequency. When saved, a new custom detection rule immediately runs and checks for matches from the past 30 days of data. The rule then runs again at fixed intervals and lookback durations based on the frequency you choose. Every 24 hours. Runs every 24 hours, checking data from the past 30 days. Every 12 hours. Runs every 12 hours, checking data from the past 48 hours. Every 3 hours. Runs every 3 hours, checking data from the past 12 hours. Every hour. Runs hourly, checking data from the past 4 hours. Continuous, NRT, runs continuously, checking data from events as they are collected and processed in near real time. NRT. Select the frequency that matches how closely you want to monitor detections, and consider your organization's capacity to respond to the alerts. Note: setting a custom detection to run in continuous, NRT, frequency allows you to increase your organization's ability to identify threats faster. 4. Choose the impacted entities. Identify the columns in your query results where you expect to find the main affected or impacted entity. For example, a query might return both device and user IDs. Identifying which of these columns represents the main impacted entity helps the service aggregate relevant alerts, correlate incidents, and target response actions. You can select only one column for each entity type. Columns that aren't returned by your query can't be selected. 5. Specify actions. Your custom detection rule can automatically take actions on files or devices that are returned by the query. Actions on devices. These actions are applied to devices in the device-id column of the query results. Isolate device applies full network isolation, preventing the device from connecting to any application or service, except for the Defender for Endpoint service. Collect investigation package collects device information in a zip file. Run antivirus scan performs a full Microsoft Defender antivirus scan on the device. Initiate investigation starts an automated investigation on the device. Actions on files. These actions are applied to files in the SHA-1 or the initiating process SHA-1 column of the query results. Allow/block automatically adds the file to your custom indicator list so that it's always allowed to run or blocked from running. You can set the scope of this action so that it's taken only on selected device groups. This scope is independent of the scope of the rule. Quarantine file deletes the file from its current location and places a copy in quarantine. 6. Set the rule scope. Set the scope to specify which devices are covered by the rule. All devices, specific device groups, only data from devices in scope will be queried. Also, actions will be taken only on those devices. 7. Review and turn on the rule. After reviewing the rule, select Create to save it. The custom detection rule immediately runs. It runs again based on configured frequency to check for matches, generate alerts, and take response actions. Next unit, investigate Microsoft Entra sign-in log. Investigate Microsoft Entra sign-in logs. To perform a sign-in investigation including conditional access policies evaluated, you can query the following tables with KQL. Expand table. Location table Microsoft Defender XDR threat hunting oddsign and events beta Microsoft Entra ID log analytics sign-in logs. The Microsoft Entra monitoring sign-in logs provide access to the same information available in the sign-in logs table. To access the sign-in logs blade, select Microsoft Entra ID in the Azure portal, then sign-in logs in the monitoring group. The query output will provide default columns including the date, user, application, status, and conditional access, policy applied. Next unit, understand Microsoft Secure Score. Continue. Having an issue? We can help. For issues related to this module, understand Microsoft Secure Score. Completed 100 XP. 3 minutes. Microsoft Secure Score is a measurement of an organization's security posture, with a higher number indicating more improvement actions taken. It can be found in the Microsoft Defender portal. Following the Secure Score recommendations can protect your organization from threats. From a centralized dashboard in the Microsoft Defender portal, organizations can monitor and work on the security of their Microsoft 365 identities, apps, and devices. Organizations gain access to robust visualizations of metrics and trends, integration with other Microsoft products, score comparison with similar organizations, and much more. The score can also reflect when third-party solutions have addressed recommended actions. Products included in Secure Score. Currently there are recommendations for the following products. Microsoft 365, including Exchange Online, Microsoft Entra ID, Microsoft Defender for Endpoint, Microsoft Defender for Identity, Defender for Cloud Apps, Microsoft Teams, You can also mark the improvement actions as covered by a third party or alternate mitigation. Take action to improve your score. The Improvement Actions tab lists the security recommendations that address possible attack surfaces. It also includes their status, to address, planned, risk accepted, resolved through third party, resolved through alternate mitigation, and completed. You can search, filter, and group all the improvement actions. Next unit, Analyze Threat Analytics. Analyze Threat Analytics. Completed 100 XP. 3 minutes. Threat Analytics is a threat intelligence solution from expert Microsoft security researchers. It's designed to assist security teams to be as efficient as possible while facing emerging threats, such as active threat actors and their campaigns, popular and new attack techniques, critical vulnerabilities, common attack surfaces, prevalent malware. Watch this short video to learn more about how Threat Analytics can help you track the latest threats and stop them. You can access Threat Analytics either from the upper left-hand side of Microsoft 365 Security Portal's navigation bar, or from a dedicated dashboard card that shows the top threats to your org, both in terms of impact and in terms of exposure. High-impact threats have the greatest potential to cause harm, while high-exposure threats are the ones that your assets are most vulnerable to. Getting visibility on active or ongoing campaigns and knowing what to do through Threat Analytics can help equip your security operations team with informed decisions. With more sophisticated adversaries and new threats emerging frequently and prevalently, it's critical to be able to quickly identify and react to emerging threats. Learn if you're currently under attack. Assess the impact of the threat to your assets. Review your resilience against or exposure to the threats. Identify the mitigation, recovery, or prevention actions you can take to stop or contain the threats. Each report provides an analysis of a tracked threat and extensive guidance on how to defend against that threat. It also incorporates data from your network, indicating whether the threat is active and if you have applicable protections in place. View the Threat Analytics dashboard. The Threat Analytics dashboard highlights the reports that are most relevant to your organization. It summarizes the threats in the following sections. Latest threats, lists the most recently published or updated threat reports, along with a number of active and resolved alerts. High-impact threats, lists the threats that have the highest impact to your organization. This section lists threats with the highest number of active and resolved alerts first. Highest exposure, lists threats with the highest exposure levels first. The exposure level of a threat is calculated using two pieces of information: how severe the vulnerabilities associated with the threat are, and how many devices in your organization could be exploited by those vulnerabilities. Selecting a threat from the dashboard views the report for that threat. View a Threat Analytics report. Each Threat Analytics report provides information in several sections. Overview. Analyst report. Related incidents. Impacted assets. Prevented email attempts. Exposure and mitigations. Overview. Quickly understand the threat, assess its impact, and review defenses. The Overview section provides a preview of the detailed analyst report. It also provides charts that highlight the impact of the threat to your organization and your exposure through misconfigured and unpatched devices. Assess impact on your organization. Each report includes charts designed to provide information about the organizational impact of a threat. Related incidents provides an overview of the impact of the tracked threat to your organization with the number of active alerts and the number of active incidents they're associated with and severity of active incidents. Alerts over time shows the number of related active and resolved alerts over time. The number of resolved alerts indicates how quickly your organization responds to alerts associated with a threat. Ideally, the chart should be showing alerts resolved within a few days. Impacted assets shows the number of distinct devices and email accounts, mailboxes, that currently have at least one active alert associated with the tracked threat. Alerts are triggered for mailboxes that receive threat emails. Review both org and user level policies for overrides that cause the delivery of threat emails. Prevented email attempts shows the number of emails from the past 7 days that were either blocked before delivery or delivered to the junk mail folder. Review security resilience and posture. Each report includes charts that provide an overview of how resilient your organization is against a given threat. Secure configuration status shows the number of devices with misconfigured security settings. Apply the recommended security settings to help mitigate the threat. Devices are considered secure if they've applied all the tracked settings. Vulnerability patching status shows the number of vulnerable devices. Apply security updates or patches to address vulnerabilities exploited by the threat. View reports per threat tags. You can filter the threat report list and view the most relevant reports according to a specific threat tag, category, or a report type. Threat tags assist you in viewing the most relevant reports according to a specific threat category. For example, all reports related to ransomware. Report types assist you in viewing the most relevant reports according to a specific report type. For example, all reports that cover tools and techniques. Filters assist you in efficiently reviewing the threat report list and filtering the view based on a specific threat tag or report type. For example, review all threat reports related to ransomware category, or threat reports that cover vulnerabilities. How does it work? The Microsoft Threat Intelligence team has added threat tags to each threat report. 4 threat tags are now available: ransomware, phishing, vulnerability, activity group. Threat tags are presented at the top of the threat analytics page. There are counters for the number of available reports under each tag. Analyst report. Get expert insight from Microsoft security researchers. In the analyst report section, read through the detailed expert write-up. Most reports provide detailed descriptions of attack chains, including tactics and techniques mapped to the MITRE ATT and CK framework, exhaustive lists of recommendations, and powerful threat hunting guidance. Related incidents. View and manage related incidents. The Related Incidents tab provides the list of all incidents related to the tracked threat. You can assign incidents or manage alerts linked to each incident. Impacted assets. Get list of impacted devices and mailboxes. An asset is considered impacted if it's affected by an active, unresolved alert. The Impacted Assets tab lists the following types of impacted assets. Impacted devices, endpoints that have unresolved Microsoft Defender for endpoint alerts. These alerts typically fire on sightings of known threat indicators and activities. Impacted mailboxes, mailboxes that have received email messages that have triggered Microsoft Defender for Office 365 alerts. While most messages that trigger alerts are typically blocked, user or org level policies can override filters. Prevented email attempts, view blocked or junk threat emails. Microsoft Defender for Office 365 typically blocks emails with known threat indicators, including malicious links or attachments. In some cases, proactive filtering mechanisms that check for suspicious content will instead send threat emails to the junk mail folder. In either case, the chances of the threat launching malware code on the device is reduced. The Prevented Email Attempts tab lists all the emails that have either been blocked before delivery or sent to the junk mail folder by Microsoft Defender for Office 365. Exposure and mitigations. Review list of mitigations and the status of your devices. In the Exposure and Mitigations section, review the list of specific actionable recommendations that can help you increase your organizational resilience against the threat. The list of tracked mitigations includes security updates, deployment of supported software security updates for vulnerabilities found on onboarded devices, supported security configurations, cloud-delivered protection, potentially unwanted application, PUA, protection, real-time protection. Mitigation information in this section incorporates data from threat and vulnerability management, which also provides detailed drill-down information from various links in the report. Set up email notifications for report updates. You can set up email notifications that will send you updates on threat analytics reports. To set up email notifications for threat analytics reports, perform the following steps. Select Settings in the Microsoft Defender XDR sidebar. Select Microsoft Defender XDR from the list of settings. Choose Email Notifications greater than Threat Analytics, and select the button, plus create a notification rule. A flyout will appear. Follow the steps listed in the flyout. First, give your new rule a name. The description field is optional, but a name is required. You can toggle the rule on or off using the checkbox under the description field. Note: the name and description fields for a new notification rule only accept English letters and numbers. They don't accept spaces, dashes, underscores, or any other punctuation. Choose which kind of reports you want to be notified about. You can choose between being updated about all newly published or updated reports, or only those reports that have a certain tag or type. Add at least one recipient to receive the notification emails. You can also use this screen to check how the notifications will be received by sending a test email. Review your new rule. If there's anything you would like to change, select the Edit button at the end of each subsection. Once your review is complete, select the Create Rule button. Your new rule has been successfully created. Select the Done button to complete the process and close the flyout. Your new rule will now appear in the list of Threat Analytics email notifications. Next unit, Analyze Reports. Analyze Reports. Completed 100 XP. 3 minutes. The Reports blade in the Microsoft Defender portal provides access to all the available reports for Microsoft Defender for Endpoint and Microsoft Defender for Office 365. General. Expand Table. Name Description Security Report. View information about security trends and track the protection status of your identities, data, devices, apps, and infrastructure. Endpoints. Expand Table. Name Description Threat Protection. See details about the security detections and alerts in your organization. Device Health and Compliance. Monitor the health state, antivirus status, operating system platforms, and Windows 10 versions for devices in your organization. Vulnerable devices view information about the vulnerable devices in your organization, including their exposure to vulnerabilities by severity level, exploitability, age, and more. Web protection get information about the web activity and web threats detected within your organization. Firewall view connections blocked by your firewall, including related devices, why they were blocked, and which ports were used. Device control. This report shows your organization's media usage data. Attack surface reduction rules view information about detections, misconfiguration, and suggested exclusions in your environment. Email and collaboration. Expand table. Name description. Email and collaboration reports review Microsoft recommended actions to help improve email and collaboration security. Manage schedules. Manage the schedule for the report security teams use to mitigate and address threats to your organization. Reports for download. Download one or more of your reports. Exchange Mail Flow reports. Deep link to Exchange Mail Flow report in the Exchange Admin Center. Next unit. Configure the Microsoft Defender portal. Configure the Microsoft Defender portal. Completed 100 XP. 3 minutes. The settings page lets you configure related Microsoft Defender products. The specific settings for the Defender products will be discussed in the related learning content. The primary setting for Microsoft Defender XDR is the notifications email configuration. Types of Microsoft Defender portal email notifications. When you set up email notifications, you can choose from 2 types, as described in the following table. Expand table. Notification type description. Incidents when new incidents are created. Threat analytics when new threat analytic reports are created. Manage incident email notifications. To view, add or edit incident email notification settings for your organization, follow these steps. In the navigation pane, select Settings, and then select Microsoft Defender XDR. Then, select Email Notifications. Next, select Incidents. To add a new notification, select Add Incident Email Notification. Enter a name and description, then Next. Select Device and Alert Criteria, then Next. Enter the recipient's email address, then Next. Select the Create Rule button. Manage Threat Analytics Email Notifications. To view, add or edit Threat Analytics email notification settings for your organization, follow these steps. In the navigation pane, select Settings, and then select Microsoft Defender XDR. Then, select Email Notifications. Next, select Threat Analytics. To add a new notification, select Create a Notification Rule. Enter a name and description, then Next. Select Threat Analytics Criteria, then Next. Enter the recipient's email address, then Next. Select the Create Rule button. Next unit, Knowledge Check. Continue. For issues related to this module, explore existing questions using the hashtag Azure Training tag or ask a question on Microsoft Q&A. For issues related to certifications and exams, post on certification support forums or visit our credentials help.